Hey guys, welcome to my studio. I just got done recording some other training and some clips for a different project, and I thought I had this thing on my mind. The thing on my mind is, how do you get LinkedIn to give you free leads, free clients? And just keep them coming and keep pouring them into your inbox so that you really can pick the best of the best. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how you get LinkedIn to do this for you. And the crazy part about it is it's actually not that difficult. In fact, I'm going to walk you through doing a very simple, like 15-minute exercise. You can do it every day. It'll take you 15, maybe 30 minutes. So it's not like the easy pill where you don't have to do anything, but it is something very basic that you can do. Anybody can do it. It doesn't require a whole bunch of technology and smarts and secrets and anything. It's just very simple to do. But if you do it regularly and consistently, then the fact is that LinkedIn will eventually, their algorithm will kick on and they'll start just cranking out leads for you, bringing you qualified prospects, and people will start contacting you. Now, how do I know that this is possible? Because I have watched dozens of my students roll through this process and do this. And one in particular, the one that actually turned me onto this, was a guy named Cindy, and she just blew the doors off her LinkedIn profile and created a huge amount of client flow and success with it. And who knows, she might be watching right now. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for letting me steal your name and your technique. It's fabulous. But I've watched a bunch of my students go through and do this over and over again. And I want to show you how to do the same thing. Now, the thing is if you want to know more about this, then the fastest way to get full details on this is if you jump onto JTB Portfolio, jtbportfolio.com. You can sign up for this webinar that I'm putting on right now, this training session that I'm doing right now, and it'll give you all the details on it. But it was interesting the way this came about, because I was working on LinkedIn and I was thinking, how do I get my students to have faster, to have the client flow that they want to have by using LinkedIn and not have to go out there and buy a bunch of names. Oh, and that was another thing. Like, man, some of my clients were going to list vendors and buying prospect contact lists, and it was just garbage. They were getting like bad emails and bad phone numbers, and they weren't connecting well with people, and the websites were wrong. And I mean, it was just a mess. And so we were in the middle of all this trying to figure out how to get better client flow, better connections, better contacts. And we started using LinkedIn a little bit, and we saw that this was, for writers, for a lot of us, this was like a great resource. And so again, just in case I forget, I want to make sure you know that I'm going to walk you through a couple steps, but the full details are this webinar I put together, free webinar. There's no cost involved. Just sign up for a time that works for you. JTB Portfolio. What is it exactly that we did? I'm going to, again, my whiteboard's all messy. I've been in here working and writing on stuff and scribbling stuff off. So anyway, sorry about the mess, but I just wanted to jot this down for you really quick. So what does this look like? Well, it's a very simple process of doing two things. Number one, curating relevant content for your target audience. So the first thing that you have to do, so this is like LinkedIn secret. Okay, so some LinkedIn secrets. The very first thing that you've got to do is you've got to choose a niche and understand your target audience, right? So you got to understand your target audience, meaning you got to know what makes them tick and who they are and what the conversations are going through their head. And man, there's a whole session that I do on that. In fact, I dive super deep into that in that free training that I've done at jtbportfolio.com, and you can go over there and check that out. But you got to find out this target audience and what makes them tick. Number two is you set up a regular Google alert for relevant articles and content that would relate to that audience. So we're going to call this a Google alert. And if you've never used Google Alert, super simple. You just Google Alert, and you can type in there a person's name, a topic, a subject, an idea, whatever. And anytime Google will filter through that, and anytime that shows up on the internet, then Google will send you a little note and say, hey, this just posted, or here's this idea was mentioned, or whatever, and you can grab that, okay? So all you want to do is you want to go out there and you want to find articles, videos, content that relate to something important to your target audience. So let's just say, for example, I was going to write for a technology firm, a SaaS company. And, SaaS company, software as a service. So like, Facebook is a software as a service. You just can jump online and use it. You don't have to download anything or install anything. Boom, there it is, okay? So what if I was in that industry and I was writing a bunch of stuff for them? Well, what kind of things would be relevant for the SaaS market? Well, maybe trends in technology and SaaS marketing. Maybe that it would be, big thing for SaaS companies is attrition rate. So, SaaS model works by people signing up for a monthly service every month. They pay a small fee to access the software, but then people cancel. And so there's a whole big thing on what's called attrition rate and fallout rates and what they call the churn, meaning how fast people sign up versus how fast they cancel. And so anything on those kinds of topics would be like super interesting for people in the SaaS world, and especially in how do you communicate effectively with your target audience so that they don't have churn, so they don't cancel, or that they do sign up, okay? So you could do a Google alert on any of that kind of stuff. Number 3, you're going to find relevant articles and you're going to summarize the articles. Okay? You're going to summarize those articles in just like 3 or 4 or 5 simple bullet points. So you read through the article, you summarize it, you pull out the highlights of that, and you go, hey, this is really cool. You pull the highlights out, and then you go into your LinkedIn profile and you write a short post. And in the post you say, hey, I read this article. Here's a summary of the best, most salient points in the article, and you list them, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, boom, 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 boom. You post those all down, and then you summarize it, and then you link to the article or the video or whatever it is. You backlink back over to that right there in the post. And then that's it. Okay, that's it. And for this particular process, that's it. So you post and say, hey, I saw this great article that has really a lot of relevance on how to write effectively to reduce churn in the SaaS industry. Here are the most important points, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. And then here's the link if you want to check out the whole article. Pow! And you send it off, you post it, and then that's it. And so fast, right? So the Google alert feeds you the content. You summarize, it just takes you a couple minutes to read through it. Then you do links back to the article. And then, last point here is about once a week, you write an original article. Now, this original article is going to be super easy for you to write. Why? Because you spent all week curating information and gotten some of the best tips and tricks and summarizing that down. You pick one of those hot topics and you just build it out into a single focused topic. And then at the bottom, you can either do a soft call to action or just link back to your website or offer a free consultation, or you just do some kind of a simple call to action. I'm not talking about a sales pitch or offering a big discount or whatever it is. I'm talking about just a simple hey, if you'd like to know more or connect with me about a project that you're working on, you can go here. And then that's it. That's it. Okay. So this 5-step process, super simple, and can be done literally in 15, 20, 30 minutes a day. And here's what we've seen happen. If you'll just consistently do this, curate this information, send it out to your target audience, post it on LinkedIn, and then once a week post an original article. What we've seen happen is we've seen this huge flux of massive changes that happen in terms of the number of people that are viewing your profile and what they're looking for and wanting interest and wanting to talk to you and all that kind of good stuff. Like they're starting to connect with you and relate with you and have an interest in talking with you, and pretty soon they see you as an expert. And then pretty soon, after you keep doing this and more people connect with you, LinkedIn's gonna swoop down in and they're gonna slap on you a LinkedIn influencer title. So now you're an influencer, and if you keep going, you'll be a thought leader. And then when you post your stuff, instead of just affecting your little world, their algorithm is going to start sending that out and producing and publishing it to more and more places and showing up in more and more people's feeds and connecting with a wider and wider, larger audience. And as your profile builds, it'll connect you out even more, and it just snowballs. Now, it does take 1 or 2 months to get this rolling, but if you consistently, regularly curate some content, post some summaries, send backlinks, once a week or so, do an original article or video. You can do a video if you want. And if you'll just follow that simple 5-step process, then promise it'll just start flowing. So here's the thing. I go into greater detail on this webinar, this training session that I've got for you, and give you some additional resources on LinkedIn and how to make additional connections with people. I tell you a bunch of my secrets off, all for free, no strings attached. JTBportfolio.com. You can just hit the link, and go over there, register for a time that's going to work for you, and then join me for the webinar. And let me tell you a whole bunch more about all this stuff and about how you can get clients and build your business and really transform your writing business. And like I love saying, my whole objective is to help writers like you fill their life with things that matter most. So I hope you'll join me, jtbportfolio.com, no cost, sign up, pick a time that works for you, and I'll see you in there. And I can't wait to hear your story about how you have filled your life with things that matter most. Talk to you soon. Bye now.